So I just passed 3 months of living in Manhattan, but 3 months isn't that long. But being here for 3 months has already started to change me. In some bad ways maybe, but mostly positive, I hope. First things first though, it's just some stuff I have to get off my chest. It involves this YouTube channel, it involves my work ethic, but it mostly just involves how this city changes people, inevitably. You don't come out of here the same person that you got here being. But what does that mean exactly? I'm trying to figure that out for myself. This is Chinatown. I love all of the fresh produce stuff that they always have here. That's really just the culture of this area, and I love it that way because you can find some really good prices on some really good food. Plus, there's a lot of open apartments here. I think I might come here and visit. This spot right here is where I met a fellow YouTuber, creative guy that does tours in Manhattan, New York City. New York Life Vlog. I caught him right here. New York has really offered this sense of encouragement, sense of belonging in my surroundings. It has allowed me to be able to really invest my time into what I love and doing this because there's always opportunity and other people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing and they want to meet up. I have 2 meetings just this week of people that also use a camera and are also in New York City, and it's just like that all around here. Even just walking across the street, you could bump into some icon that you've looked up to. But I think that it works both ways, right? Because depending on where you're from or where you're going to, you could have been a complete, total, lazy person, and then you move somewhere and the energy around it just mentally wants to bring you out of bed. I didn't personally sleep all the time in my hometown, but I do feel a sense of, I guess it's wholesomeness. It makes me feel more complete as a creative and entrepreneur and somebody that's building a company. Grand Street Station. One thing that I'm starting to recognize too, the friends that I had back in my hometown. I had one close friend that I've known for a lot of years. I call him my best friend. The other friends, well, I don't really have many of casual friends. All of my friends throughout all of my life have been something that involves being creative. That's how I found myself hanging out. So the way that it feeds through here in the city, well, all of the friends that I'm making, they are all filmmakers, photographers, TikTok people. They make content for the digital era. Things like what I'm doing now, what you're watching. That's the kind of people I find myself around. And I think that anyone who lives here can attest to that. You find the people that are doing what you're also doing, and then it's just the networking that expands from there. It's totally not a bad thing. A lot of people I think would say that that's unhealthy to not have many friends because you're working otherwise, but I think it's a great thing. Loud truck. I'll bet any of you that someone is going to pick up that mattress. That's just New York. People can pick up this, can you call it furniture anymore after it's in that condition? Teslas everywhere. Love it. If you're not careful, you'll get sucked into this perspective where you have to be doing something all the time, keeping up with the momentum of the city and the people in it. Before you know it, you always have that one thing to do and your days just fly by. 3 months is not a long time, but I've lived a lot of life in that period, so it just seems a lot longer than it actually is. The change is from inside out. You really kind of have to mentally grow with what you perceive and what this actually entails living here. These chips are hitting the spot right now. There was a cop staring at me back there. It was really awkward. I think he thought I was going to record him, and he was getting his back scratched by some random woman. I'd be his wife? What it means for me is that I don't really batch make these. I don't make 5 videos in one day and then upload them. This video that you're watching was the one that I was working on before it got posted. I didn't have this ready. I had to develop this storyline and the structure of it straight from an idea that I might have wanted to express. So it turns into FOMO, fear of missing out, or feeling like I'm always behind. There's always something to do. There's always going to be that next thing. I can admit, at the young age that I am, I think that I have for sure developed workaholic tendencies. It mostly comes from YouTube and just trying to stay consistent on here, trying to provide the quality movies that I want to see for myself. And that just takes a lot of it's time-consuming work. Each of these movies take like multiple sessions of like editing, shooting, and location scouting to tell the best story that I want to. But it's not only that. I mean, this city just provides so much, so there's always just something to do. Even when the pandemic struck, there was still business going on. It didn't ever stop, truly. So being around that kind of, I guess you could say, vibe, thought process, perspective, it kind of just takes control of you. You don't really know that you're doing it until you're just exhausted and can't even move, really. I mean, that's how I felt this entire time. It's like running through mud is how I describe it. Just over 90 days, and I have honestly never been to this side of Manhattan where the beautiful water and the other boroughs are, but it's really beautiful here, and I don't really have those moments where I can just relax and not think about anything, because for what I'm doing, there's just always something else to do. Can't get ran over by these bikes. I find myself in this period within this very short amount of time after I moved where I just don't have any time for anything, even to think for myself. It's like, do I just want to watch 3 episodes of some show? Yes, I do, but I can't because like I'm short on time and it's just very late at night. So even now, while I'm watching the beautiful water, I'll give you a glimpse as well. Doesn't something that beautiful just kind of blow your mind? I mean, this is my first time seeing it with you, because can I really risk the 30 minutes that it took me to get here on the daily basis? I can't, because I have other stuff to do that demand my time more than just visiting a side of the island, because that requires me to actually do work out of it. Like, I'm making this movie out of it instead of enjoying this view for the entirety of this. Not that it should surprise me, but there's a lot of construction going on in this part of the neighborhood exclusively. But I also wanted to show you something that I thought was kind of funny. It's one of these streets right up here. But also look at the architecture of this building versus this building. Futuristic. Thirsty and low blood sugar. Shout out to this bodega right here on 97 Catherine. For me, I guess that means that sometimes this city is going to like influence antisocial tendencies. I already had them because I'm an introvert, but knowing that I'm not going to be partying all the time exclusively just to hang out and not do anything, that part is like you don't get a minute to rest, but it's also a really encouraging aspect of living here because you have all of these different productive outlets around you. I guess I'll end this episode with there's a street with my name on it in Lower Manhattan. I guess that does it, right? I gotta get an apartment down here.